What's up, Bulls Nation? You found yourselves locked on Bulls. I'm Matt. That right there is Big Dave. It's our Friday episode, y'all, before All-Star Weekend. I got my Joakim Cleveland shirt on, and this episode is all about you, our fellow Bulls listeners and fans. 331-979-1369 is the number. We're doing mailbag. Big Dave, are you ready?
I am ready.
Then let's go, baby.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Here are your hosts, Matt Peck and Big Dave Watson.
What's up and welcome into Locked On Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Matt Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. You can follow my co-host Big Dave Watson at BAW, BAWL Sports. You can follow us at Locked On Bulls. Also hit us up with that text and voicemail line, 331-979-1369. The day has finally come, Dave. We're doing mailbag on Friday as promised. We got all kinds of people with all kinds of topics. DeMar, Tristan Thompson, Javonte Green. Are you ready to get into all of it, my friend?
I put my Justin Fields on today. I'm feeling right. You know I love talking to the people, man. Come on with it, baby. I love it. Let's do it.
Let's not waste any more time. Kicking us off is a longtime listener, our pal JR, texting in from this 269, who says, "We got our goon in Tristan Thompson. Can't wait for Operation Smack to bleep out of Grayson Allen to go into effect. Just kidding. Maybe not."
I don't think you are.
I don't think he's kidding, Dave. You know, we talked a little bit about that at the tail end of our Thursday episode. This surprise at the timing of the announcement, but not surprising the announcement itself. Especially you who saw this Tristan buyout edition coming a mile away and have been talking about it. But as we said, it's not just necessarily about the backup big minutes he can give you off the bench, but it is maybe instilling some of that toughness and that tough mentality and that, hey, don't F with any of my teammates or I'll F with you kind of stuff that Tristan Thompson can provide.
You know, I've said this comparison on the show before. I wanted someone who is basically what Antonio Davis was to Derrick Rose. You couldn't mess with Derrick Rose because Davis was there. And for that reason, they're still tight. You know what I mean? Like, they're still a really tight thing. We didn't have that for any of our guys, you know, on our team, any of our stars. I remember when it wasn't even just watching Tony Bradley get carried out the club. It was watching Wagner, you know, kind of shove DeRozan during that Orlando blowout in Orlando. And nobody comes to the aid. You know, it's watching him get hit and get knocked on the ground and nobody's, you know, fighting back to, you know, nobody's talking to Suggs. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's doing any of these things. And I'm like, no, this cannot stand if we're talking about being a legitimate basketball team out here that we know that we are. We need that one tough guy. You know what I'm saying? And Tristan Thompson is that. And I like it because he's professional tough. You understand what I mean by that? Like, he's toughness, but it's not like just going insane with
not reckless tough. Not reckless.
That's the word. That's the word I'm looking for right there. Yes. And he's not reckless with his toughness. You know what I'm saying? It's all strategic and it's all within the confines of the game. And it still means you can't push us around because nobody's messing with Ayo now. You mess with Ayo, you're going to have to mess with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good thing to have that. And I don't need Zach being that person. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's got that mentality. I don't need him being that person. I don't need Caruso being that person. I need those guys out there. He provides that kind of goon toughness, plus all of the other qualities that he possesses, the rebounding, the switching on defense, the intelligence, the championship pedigree, all those other things too. So good signing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of what our pal Joe Cali said when we had him on a couple weeks ago. Like, this is a team full of choir boys. Like, they all love each other and respect each other, and they're there for each other, but they're all a bunch of nice guys. Yeah. And you need that one guy who can say on behalf of his team, you do not mess with us or we will mess right back with you, because that is something that you have been able to see on the floor every night. When anybody in a Bulls jersey hits the deck, either, because they took a hard foul or for whatever reason they hit the deck, they got two teammates right there to pick them up. Always. And it was not the case over the last few seasons under you-know-who, because they were all despondent and they were all miserable with their lot in life. So there was none of that team camaraderie. These guys all love each other. They love playing with each other. So there's that element to it. But like you said, whether it was the, Wagner giving DeRozan that hard foul, or certainly Grayson when he chopped down Caruso, or Suggs showboating in that Orlando game, in those moments, there was not a single player to say, hey, no. So they've been there to help each other up, but they haven't been there to help each other fight in a way. And it kind of makes me think back to something that MJ said about Pip in The Last Dance, especially when they were kind of, going through the bad boys era, with those playoff battles with the Pistons, saying, hey, man, like Scotty sometimes had to just like nudge him. And the same thing with Horace, like, hey, I'll fight with you. I'm standing right here next to you. I will fight with you. Just fight with me. And there has to be that person to be willing to, the person to first say, I'm fighting. Stand right next to me. Stand beside me, whatever. But I'll fight. Just fight with me.
Yeah. Mike had to have a Charles Oakley. You know what I'm saying? Like that had to occur before he kind of understood and was able to, get in the face of the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks and all those other Indiana Pacers and tough teams. He was able to grow into that. But other guys filled that role with him, like Stacey King, like Will Perdue, you know what I'm saying? Like Bill Cartwright, you know what I'm saying? Like all these other tough guys that was rolling with it. I just mentioned Davis. I could throw Joakim Noah in there too. You weren't messing with Joakim Noah.
Nazi Muhammad,
he made his whole career in Chicago just by pushing LeBron to the ground. Kirk Heinrich, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of toughness that is
fighting Rondo in that Celtics game.
See what I mean? Like this is what the people remember, especially here in Chicago, Matt, of all places. You know what I'm saying? Like those kind of values are honored here in Chicago. So Tristan will fit in quite well if he just continues to do that. I knew he was, because I thought of, do you remember? I don't know if you saw that Bucks game when Montrezl Harrell was still with the Wizards and he came down with a hard foul on Giannis. Now remember, Giannis is not a small human being. He don't need no help. All right. Yeah. But the first person in Montrezl's face was Bobby Portis. The first person. This is like, dude, no, you ain't gonna do none of that in here. Didn't matter that Giannis didn't need no help. He just had to let him know I'm rolling with him. So you ain't gonna be none of that happening right here. I'm just glad we have one of those now. So when Bobby wants to run those things, I got somebody. When Montrez wants to run them things, I got somebody. I'm just happy we checked that box.
Right. And as our texter said, wouldn't mind seeing Tristan Thompson send a little message to Grayson Allen on March 4th.
I think that's in the back of AK and everybody's mind. I'm not even gonna lie. I think that's in their mind, man. That's why they signed him.
Don't get yourself a multi-game suspension, but
right.
Send a message in the off chance that these teams see each other in a best of 7 series.
Just saying the screen, he comes to the bucket. Just saying, just check his temperature.
All right, moving on. 630 texting in saying, big fan. I know Big Dave's all on board for Matt Thomas, aka Matty Legend.
Hey,
however, this guy is subpar on his best nights and just downright bad at most nights. Don't you think Malcolm Hill deserves a chance to step into that spot in the rotation? Big picture, it won't be as much of an issue once we are healthy, but watching Matt Thomas play this many minutes is about one of the only negatives for the Bulls right now. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for the text. Big Dave, I mean, as you've said several times, if Matt Thomas and his minutes right now is Bulls fans' biggest problem, we don't really have
no problem.
Come April, that dude's not seeing the floor. Knock on wood. If all of these returning players from injuries schedules go on schedule, if not ahead of schedule, we ain't seeing Matty Thomas.
You will not see the legend, and that's why I'm trying to get Bulls fans to chill a little bit. You don't need the stats. You don't need the breakdowns. You don't need the video proof of this. We know who he is. We get this. We understand it. Have fun with me on this, okay? This is all he is to me. This is fun. This is my guy. This is my Ryan Nall right here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my guy right here. We're going to roll with Matty Legend. But you're not going to see – I will say to your point, I do want to see more of Malcolm Hill. But I think Billy likes using him in situational things. Like the one time
like when the game is over and he wants to ruin my bet of the Suns covering, like those moments is when Billy wants to use Malcolm Hill.
Yes, man. You ain't really seen him since, Matt.
I have not seen him since.
Yeah, Matt put the call in. Matt put the call in, like, don't you put this dude out there no more, all right? I'm plugged. Matt is plugged, all right? But yeah, man, I think it's more situational because of his size. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the one thing. He clearly loves guards. Like Billy has shown you. He clearly values guards, all right? He likes them. He likes how he operates out there when they got a bunch of guards and things like that. Malcolm Hill's time, he'll get his time, when Billy feels that is right. But and that's the other reason that he mentioned, Matt, within that. Why would I trip on something when they winning? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a winning thing. Like, I don't know what he does. Oh man, Chris Rock had a great joke about that when he said, I don't know. He was like, you look at Hall of Oates, we know Daryl Oates is. We know who Daryl Hall is. He was like, I don't know what Oates does. He was like, I don't know what he does at all. I know Hall ain't got no hits without him. Like, that's how it is with Matt Thomas. We don't know what he out there for. We don't know what it is. Bulls in 1-4 straight with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what it is. Yeah. Like, just roll with that. Enjoy the fact they're winning and enjoy the fact that I promise you when these guys get back, his minutes will definitely dissipate and go away.
Yeah. That's just end of the rotation guys that have to be playing right now. That's all it is. And look, again, we touched on this yesterday, but we'll see who ends up being the one to go under the axe to create this roster spot for Tristan Thompson. Casey Johnson believes that it could be Alfonso McKinney is the most likely candidate. Maybe Matt Thomas, maybe Malcolm Hill. Even though the Bulls are bringing in a big interest, and it won't be Tony Bradley because I think he signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah, he did.
So I think Tony Bradley is just going to be a cheerleader for the rest of the season, pretty much.
But you're going to need some of his length, though, Matt. He's 7 feet tall still. You're going to need that in the playoffs.
The occasional block.
Yes. For a few minutes. That was my caveat at the end. For a few minutes, you're going to need that size, guys. You're going to need it.
All right. We've got plenty more texts to get to, including someone up on deck wondering if DeMar DeRozan is actually underpaid for all the talk about the Bulls overpaying for him last summer. We'll get to that in just a minute. But first, today's episode brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. Football might be over, but basketball is in full swing, y'all, for both the NBA and college hoops. We're like a stone's throw from March Madness, Big Dave. I love it. Great time of year. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props to where the next fire coach is going to land, BetOnline.net is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline.net is your source for hockey, boxing, UFC odds, baseball if they get their shit together, right to the Olympic coverage and info. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline. It's where the game starts. Come on, baseball. Come on.
Get it together.
Man, sitting here recording right now, looking out my window. This is not baseball weather in Chicago just yet.
I promise you the White Walkers are out there. Like, it's so crazy outside, man.
There's an army of them down outside my freaking window.
Night King, represent.
Right after a day where it's like, hey, it's mid-February. You want a 50-degree day in Chicago? Next day, 6 inches of snow.
A lot of y'all didn't like it. Y'all didn't like it. You get no love.
Garbage.
Chicago.
Real quick, 618 texting in saying in all caps, Zach is okay. Thank the Lord. Yes. Being a voice for every Bulls fan who got that sigh of relief news on Wednesday night. Whoever your Lord is, whatever your lords are, whoever you pray to, say thanks for the Zach LaVine news.
Very
all right, moving along. The 847 texts in saying, here's an interesting question. Is DeMar DeRozan actually underpaid for what he's bringing to the table? Quick answer from me, David, and then I'll toss it to you. Yeah, he's underpaid.
Yeah, it's looking like a bargain now, right? You remember what it was before he got here, man? You remember that talk? You remember come on, guys. He started too. He's not going to be worth that. I don't see that happening. I remember all of that. I remember all of that talk. And Matt and I told you, well, the price is the price. That's just what the market set, and that's what it was. You paid the price. If you want to be better, that's just the price you paid. That's the price is the price. And we didn't feel it was too high. We didn't feel it was too low. It was like, yeah, it's right. But is he outplaying it? No question about it. The dude is in the running for the MVP. You know what I'm saying? He will probably, most likely, I shouldn't even say probably, but it looks like he will be earning his first ever first team All NBA honors. Will be going to DeMar DeRozan.
Very good chance. Very good chance
man.
against that.
Like, he's playing that kind of level of good for the Chicago Bulls. So yeah, when you're doing things only Jordan and Wilt have done, and then you're doing things they've never done, and you're breaking NBA records, yeah, you're underpaid with your contract like that, man, for sure. And doesn't it look awesome right now, guys? He is happy. Right. We are happy with him.
And look, it looks like a lot of money. In case you've forgotten, $26 million this season, $27.3 next season, $28.6 in 23-24. So it's an escalating deal. The older he gets, he's going to be making more money and taking up a slightly larger percentage of the cap. Right. But as you just said, first team all NBA kind of players in this league, Dave, unless it's like something crazy, like Luka wasn't or Trey wasn't first team. No. When they were young, but like, so say a guy on a rookie scale contract makes first team All NBA. That's basically unheard of. Yeah. Otherwise, all of the caliber of players in their prime and the biggest, brightest stars in the NBA these days are all on contracts 10 million above what DeMar's making. Yeah. Somewhere like 30 something million, even flirting with 40 million. Some of the biggest and highest paid stars in the NBA now are even eclipsing 40 million. And in another couple of years, will be eclipsing 50 million annual salaries. Look, who knows if DeMar can replicate what he's doing this season in his second and third seasons with the Bulls, assuming he stays here throughout this contract. But even still, right now, this season, at 26 million, a first-team All-NBA guy in today's NBA, yeah, that's underpaid. That's woefully underpaid.
Like I said, like I think woefully in there. Because it's true, guys. It's true. Nobody expected what you're seeing on the floor from him. We knew he'd be good. I think Matt and I definitely talked about it at length about how good and how good of a fit he would be for everyone on his team. We weren't looking at MVP level. You know what I mean? We weren't looking at these back-to-back game winners. We weren't looking at best fourth quarter guy in the league. You know what I mean? We knew he'd be good, but this is great that we're looking at right here, man. And for the money he's being paid, yeah, I don't think it's an insane statement, sir.
And look, the other element to this, if you're talking about him being underpaid and then maybe also undervalued, when you also go back and compare it to what people saw as the cost of getting DeMar here, and a lot of people and a lot of talking heads saying, oh, that's too big of a price tag for DeMar, is not just the 3-year, $82 million salary, but the first-round pick you gave up to get him in a sign and trade with San Antonio, and the fact that you gave up Thad Young, a very valuable vet role player, who also the Spurs pried away in that sign and trade. And now it's like, oh, come on, Spurs, really? You insisted that we give you Thad Young and then you don't even play him? Come on. What
was that for?
Again, big picture, you're seeing this stretch of games that DeMar DeRozan is on as we hit the All-Star break, setting records that hadn't been touched since Wilt Chamberlain in the early 60s with his scoring and his efficiency on the offensive end. And you're worried about Thad Young? You're worried about a pick that we owe the Spurs in whatever, 2026. If the Bulls stay on this trajectory, what is that first round pick in 2026 really going to be worth? Not going to be a lottery pick, knock on wood. This is a Bulls team that has been built with tiers of veteran stars, like rising stars and young stars.
Fact.
They have a plan mapped out. This Bulls team is going to be competitive for the foreseeable future, playoff team competitive for the foreseeable future, unless, God forbid, something catastrophic, multiple catastrophic things happen. So when you talk about, but the price tag for DeMar, you're paying him, 25 to 30 million, and you had to give up Thad and a pick. Who cares about Thad and a pick? No one should care about Thad and a pick at this point.
Nobody. You shouldn't care. It shouldn't be a thing. Should not be a thing, and it won't be a thing because the Bulls are awesome right now. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan, man. Shout out to him, man. Like, just the complete package so far is what he's been for this team. And also, Matt, I think what also comes with that contract is players watching DeMar DeRozan in this Bulls uniform and how much fun he's having here is also worth something. You know what I mean? Him saying, I'm having the time of my life here playing in Chicago. I love everybody on this team. Seeing the growth of rookies underneath his, tutelage, Ayo Dosunmu and guys like that. Watching that stuff and knowing guys around the league are seeing that stuff. So that makes Bulls kind of, a attractive place to be for free agents. That's also a part of the contract of DeMar DeRozan and what he's being paid for, man. And it's just good, man. This is what good teams feel like.
To you.
Breathe it in, Bulls fans. This is what good feels like. Did you remember this? I remember this. Come on, baby. This is good.
Hugh Swayze. All right. All right. We got Eric in Richmond on deck with a thought about Vooch and the Bulls standing pat at the deadline. That's next. But first, Big Dave, tell the people about the delicious bars which are built.
Oh, you know what they are built on, Matt? Deliciousness and health, all right? Because why? 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, 17 grams of protein, and they are covered in 100% real chocolate. All right, we're talking about high protein, low calorie, high fiber, low carb, and also really high in what? Taste. Mint brownie, coconut almond, raspberry, white chocolate, cookies and cream. Listen, they got it all. And also they got the flavors of the month. Matt Peck, could you please let them know what one of them is?
Mint marshmallow, baby. Who doesn't want that? Mint, delicious. Marshmallows, delicious. Covered in chocolate, delicious.
Come on, man. That's 3 deliciousness. So go to built.com. Use that promo code LOCKED15. Get yourself 15% off of your order of that deliciousness. LOCKED15, 50% off your order at built.com. Built Bar. Get some at the All-Star break.
Note to self, don't take a sip of water when Big Dave acting a fool. Then you just spit up on yourself. All right, more mailbag. We're rolling on. Eric in Richmond texting in saying, I think the other thing to remember about the Bulls not making a trade deadline move is that Vooch was still slumping the last time this team was whole, and we basically never had P. Will. We still haven't seen this team at 100%. Thanks for checking in, Eric. And look, I don't want to labor something that we have moved past already as far as the Bulls not making a move at the trade deadline. I know that there were a lot of Bulls fans up in arms on deadline day when they stayed pat and did nothing. Maybe some of those people are now somewhat assuaged by the fact that Tristan Thompson's on his way here. As Big Dave and I told you for weeks, this team's not going to make some giant move, sacrificing even more young capital or draft capital to get Jeremy Grant. Not going to happen. They're going to get the buyout market. Maybe some of you are now okay with that. But at the same time, it's some interesting context and I think important context that Eric provides in that Vooch is playing a lot better right now. Yet you just got him a nice backup big to add to your rotation. And we talked about Zach's good news and Caruso's good news, but you still, knock on wood, are getting Lonzo Ball back. And it looks like you're absolutely going to get Patrick Williams back at some point before this season is up.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Somebody was tweeting me on Twitter saying, oh, this team struggles against everybody. Look, Cleveland and the Raptors beat them and they were at full strength. And I'm like, they never played either of these teams at full strength. Not one. You know what I'm saying? Not one of those teams that they play at full strength. They didn't play Cleveland at full strength in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Because Patrick Williams still wasn't there. Kobe White still wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took a while for those guys to get there. So, no, they have not played either of these teams at full strength, but they still got those victories. They still got those wins. They still competed against those squads. So those games were, kind of close and things like that. It's just exciting, Matt, because the team, we know the flaws that they have. And what's awesome is the flaws are the flaws because of the injuries that they have. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I can sit here and say, oh, man, they got to fix this. Now, man, like, dude, they got to go get something to fix this. Oh yeah, I already got something to fix that. I got that tool already. It's been ordered. It's ordered on Amazon. It's just taking a while to get here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on its way here, and we know what it will fix, and we know what it will help. What was good is what we were working on in the meantime, which is guys like Kobe White getting reacclimated, getting his shot back, finding out where he can fit in, which is Ayo Dosunmu, finding out that he was a really good point guard, that he can actually start at point guard for your team, that he can run and facilitate and be a really great defender. That's guys like Javonte Green, who had any clue outside of Billy Donovan this dude could play the 4. Now, I don't think any of us thought that. I remember when Patrick Williams was down, we were like, Javonte Green? Like, it was the preseason. We're like, Javonte, what? Oh, Lord, we got to go get a power forward. That's all we got to get a power forward now. And Javonte's like, nah, I got it. You know what I mean? I'm good. I'll just jump higher than everyone out here. So, yeah, they filled all the problems that they have. Now we just have to play with our toys and see, you know what I'm saying, what it looks like when we're playing with our army men and what it looks like out there. We're having a good time. And what other thing? Do we need extra bazooka? You know, you need an extra thing, whatever you need. We'll get it then. But, yeah, let's see it at full strength. I'm excited to see it at full strength because I think they could do some really, really serious damage in the Eastern Conference like they're doing already without a full strength team.
Yeah, and look, AK told everybody when he talked to the media after trade deadline day passed, he said, when we were the most healthy that we've been this season, we had a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense.
You sure did say
Bulls
that.
fans quickly forgot that top 5 defense part.
Yeah.
And then, you know, even for a while when they lost 1 or 2 pieces, they were still flirting with top 10 defense. And then they lost everybody and the defense fell off a cliff for a while. And right now they're finding ways to win games. 125 to 118, 120 to 110, 118 to 109. You're finding a way to win. And until then, good for you for finding a way to win. But when this team was healthy, when Caruso and Lonzo were out, this was a top 10 defense. And guess what? They're coming back. They're coming back.
On the way. On the way.
The way.
Can't wait.
All right. Let's move on. 815 texting in saying Javonte Green for MVP with some laughing emojis. His energy goes beyond the court. I can feel it in my couch. Big Dave, we did give Javonte a little love in our episode breaking down the win over the Kings. But truly, you know, talking about people you got back, Javonte was out for a while, and when he was out, the Bulls felt his absence tremendously. Tremendously.
You know, it was like guys forgot how to cut to the basket when Javonte Green left out because seeing him out, and you know what's fun? I'm glad I got to see that though, because I got to see like how truly important. I knew he was important, but I got to see how truly important he is to this team and what he is important on the offensive side. I already know what he provides defense. He's a scrappy dude. He's going to get in there. He's going to battle. He's going to do those things like that. But on the offensive end, which was people were like, we don't know if he can score like that. We know he could jump over everybody. I don't know if he can score like that. Where his offense comes in at was when guys will get double teamed or they get stuck. Cut immediately to the basket. Oh, there's a red comet going that way towards the basket. Let me get him the basketball real quick. Oh, he can jump really, really high as well when we get him down there. So it's really hard to block his shot. So you're going to have to foul him and send him to the line. That has been vitally important. He's been an awesome bailout for a lot of guys who got stuck with the ball at the top of the key, at the elbow, wherever they were because of a double team, you know, or whatever reason it happened. Him cutting baseline or him cutting from the elbow or wherever he was from, that dart directly to the basket, hit him with the pass, it was in there. He's caught so many people off guard with that on the defensive end who have been stagnant and looking at the ball and not looking at Javonte. He disappears quickly. It's been amazing to watch. And then on top of that, he improves his three-point shooting. Oh, my goodness. Listen, like Matt said last show, if this dude is going to go 3 or 4 on the three-point line, what NBA going to watch out. It's all that is, man. If that dude's going to start hitting threes, y'all in trouble. That's the truth.
Like, it's gotten to the point where I'm considering taping Javonte's name over the back of the Markkanen jersey I still have. Like, I still got a Lowry, and dude, it's one of those fresh, that first city edition that's white with the
remember it.
blue Chicago cursive. I
That's
love
nice.
those jerseys, and I got it in Markkanen because that's when I still believe the Markkanen was a franchise staple.
We all
That,
did.
like, that, give me some duct tape and a Sharpie. That's a Javonte Green jersey now. I mean, also, as we're getting ready for All-Star Weekend, hopefully, we don't know as of recording this Thursday afternoon. We don't know yet if Zach's going to do the 3-point contest. The news we got from his doctor visit sounds like, cleared to participate in All-Star Weekend. And he's trying to become the first person ever to win both the 3-point contest and the dunk contest.
Sure is.
And, obviously doing so in separate seasons, separate years.
Right.
Put Javonte in both this season and let him win both. Javonte Green, 3-point champion, dunk champion. Done deal.
I like your thinking on that one, man. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Put them in. Why not? Have some fun with this. It's a fun season. Let's keep it going. Gets the people going.
just like meld them into one event and just have Javonte jacking threes and chasing his occasional misses and doing ridiculous like putback dunks and stuff on his 3-point shots.
Do you think he's turning down the dunk contest, or is he just not being asked?
I think he's not being asked.
Okay.
I think, dude, his Twitter handle is at Extreme2Bounce or whatever.
It is.
This dude's doing insane dunks in the layup line before every game.
He's right.
Why would he not want to?
That's a great point. That's an excellent
Put him in the dunk contest, you cowards. Not too late.
No,
it's not too late.
It's not too late.
All right, moving on. We've got a bit of a heavy question here. This is Russell checking in, saying Russell repping the 808 with the latest news of Zach's knee issue. If you were the front office, would you still be considering offering Zach the Supermax? Context, Russell sent this to us earlier this week. It looks like either late Monday night or early Tuesday morning before we got the most recent positive news update from that Zach appointment in LA. But I'm guessing even after that good news, Russell is still curious to hear the answer to this question because Zach's knee is still a thing, I think.
Yeah, it's still a thing. Short answer, yeah. You're still considering giving Zach LaVine his contract and his money. And the reason it's not just for this year. It's not just for what you're seeing this year. For me, it's a reward for his entire time here and what he has endured and what he has done and what he's put up with and dealt with very professionally. You haven't seen Zach LaVine, and he could have just tossed so many people under the bus for the trash that was going on in that organization before AK and Eversley got here. The ridiculous amounts of blowouts. Denzel Valentine running into him while he's attempting a game-winning shot. Zach LaVine being trapped on a baseline because there's nobody else to pass it to win a game. We saw the face of him on the sideline when he just was like, but why? When that fool called a timeout for no apparent reason. You just saw all of this pain. And even dealing with all of that, he was always a fringe all-star, Matt. The only reason he wasn't in all-star games was because the team was ass. That's the only reason he wasn't there. It wasn't because of him. It was because the team was hot ass. Like, it was just that simple. So I think it's a culmination and just them paying him for all of those things. And plus, on top of that, and this is just because it's in good faith, that AK and Mark Eversley told him, yo, we can't pay you, but listen, how about we get some guys first? How about we get some of these new players and pieces in here so we can build this winning team, and then we'll take care of you. To then not do it is just bad business. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a good look. It's in their right to do it. They can do it if they want, but it ain't no good look on that. After you did all this, letting him know that, yo, man, we're going to get it to take care of you on the back end after we get this. I don't think AK and Eversley move like that. So I think he definitely is deserving of his Supermax for sure.
And look, because AK and Eversley in under 2 years have already shown to have far superior chops when it comes to navigating deals and building rosters than their predecessors did, who had just like carte blanche levels of loyalty from ownership.
Yeah.
I think that AK and Eversley have played this pretty smart I'm thinking about the question that AK was asked after the deadline passed about whether or not the lack of any trades had anything to do with what he has heard from ownership about this team becoming a team at some point in the near future operating into the luxury tax. And knowing that Jerry Reinsdorf has allowed this team to operate above the luxury tax line once since buying the team in 1984. Once. It's a lot of years and one. Should I say it again? Once. However, if they were to just throw a bag of money at Zach LaVine to convince him to stay last season, and then to say, okay, well, Zach clearly still needs some help. Let us go out and sign these expensive pieces. It might be harder for Jerry to say, okay, fine, to that compared to what they have done, which is tell Zach, hang in there. You want some help? Let us spend a little bit of money and get you some help. And now, with that help that Zach finally has, what do we have? A team that's in the top seed in the Eastern Conference at the All-Star break. So, fast forward to this summer, comes time for Zach LaVine to get paid, and DeMar's here, and Vooch is still here, and you got these contracts, and you got all these guys making money. You still maybe want to add another fringe piece to fill out this rotation. If you need that one piece that's missing, if the Bulls fall short this season, how much easier of an ask is it for AK and Eversley to go to Jerry and Michael and say, look, we have to pay Zach. He's earned that. You know that. We know that. We're going to be a luxury tax team, but look what we've built. Y'all want a championship? Let us operate above the tax line. That, I think, is a much better strategy than paying Zach a year ago. And I think it gives them a better shot at Jerry and Michael saying yes to the luxury tax because look what we have built. In 2 short years, look what we have built. Yeah. Let us go above that tax line to really get this done.
That is excellent. That is well said, Matt. I mean, it's easier to go back to somebody and show them exactly what you've done when you're about to ask them for something. That's for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's anything in life. That's for your parents. You know what I mean? That's for anything in life. When you're showing your mom, dad, can I go outside? Look, I did all my chores. I washed all the dishes. You know what I mean? I've washed all the clothes. Can I go outside now? I've shown and proved what I can do. Yeah. It'll be like, yeah, this is awesome. That's what you do. You show and prove to them, man. That's what they've done. Yeah, Zach should get his money, man, for sure.
And as far as the knee part, look, knock on wood, but up until this little, spurt of a month or so where Zach's had a couple of games missed here and there because of a nagging knee and then like a back spasm flare up and people were maybe worried that those two things were related in some way. How often did we say to each other earlier this season, all of last season, all of the season prior, man, you forget this guy tore his ACL. You forget because that is how still dominantly athletic Zach LaVine looks on a basketball court. There's nothing to say. There's no sure guarantee to assure that a player will never re-injure an injury or get hurt in some other way. Should that prevent you in this case from not giving Zach LaVine a big bag of money that he has earned? I don't see it. To me, he is not a injury prone player. If you want to use that label, and I think it's kind of a wishy-washy label, but with some cases like, and I know maybe it's a little fluky the way he came down last night, but look at that Anthony Davis ankle from the Lakers game on Wednesday night. Anthony Davis, you might have injury prone on that label. Wendell Carter Jr. for the 3 years he was in Chicago, injury prone, right? Zach LaVine, no. This was, I will admit, a scary stretch of a couple of weeks with Zach.
For sure. But
we've gotten good news, and I don't think that should affect the Bulls front office or ownership when saying to Zach LaVine this summer, so here's a pen. Here's your money. Here's a pen.
And just to add this, you want to talk about somebody who has outperformed their contract? Somebody who might be underpaid right now?
Oh, my God.
Zachary LaVine, sir.
There's no one in the NBA more underpaid than Zach LaVine right now. Dude's not even making $20 million.
Dude, come on now. Come on. Get that man his money.
There have been moments where I'm like, I feel like I should cut Zach LaVine a check for $50 right now. Like after watching a certain game or a certain play, like I know it's just, like a tiny little piece added to the haystack because it's not like the man is broke, but goodness.
I saw him drive a spaceship. He's fine. he's fine, man. He's okay. All right. He's good.
They shoot a new Batman in the street of Chicago? No, that's Zach LaVine's car.
Zach LaVine. Right. How come the cars make no noise? I see it, but it doesn't make any noise. This levitating?
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Well, I guess maybe we should have a follow-up on that kind of conversation with our pal Joe again in a few weeks, few months.
Oh man.
Because man, we were having a good chat with him a couple weeks back about his chat with Zach LaVine and how his thoughts on Zach have changed a little bit, but I still get the feeling that Joe is one of a handful of people out there who still thinks it's not so much of a no-brainer for the Bulls to give Zach. And look, again, the word supermax that our texter Russell used there is another key, because if it's Zach LaVine third team All NBA, then you're talking about the super duper max, where you're talking upwards of 200 million, whatever. If he's not an All NBA selection, that max that the Bulls can offer him is significantly less than were he to make an All NBA team. Absolutely. And again, we've also talked about whatever the max the Bulls can offer him doesn't mean that he will demand the entirety of it.
Correct, Matthew.
As long as it is a substantial raise.
Yeah. Now we know he wants his money because we saw what agent that he hired. So he wants his money. But the other thing players value is comfort. Being happy where you are and being cool with it. Does he not love his teammates? I think he does.
Oh my
God. Does
he
enjoy being in Chicago?
That moment where he popped into DeMar's post-game press conference Wednesday night, and it was just like big bro and little bro.
Yeah, man. It was just amazing. Remember he's doing that to Kobe? You know what I'm saying? Dude, remember the Team USA when he's going out to dinner with Patrick Williams every single night? Remember when he talked to Vooch during the All-Star break and got Vooch over here, and he was like, yeah, it's because we had conversations about it. You don't do all of that and then say, all right, I'm out. Now give me my money, I'm gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, he wants to win. That dude, if anything, he shows he wants to win. He shows that by playing through these injuries all the time, by playing when this team was, like I said, a hot, super duper ass, him still being out there and still putting forth maximum effort every single time. Listen, he's going to get his money from the Bulls. I plan on him being here for the foreseeable future and building some more wonderful things with him, man. But let's focus on the right now. Zach LaVine is going to get healthy, come back. We're going to start this second stretch of the season, baby.
Yeah. And then when he signs that contract, you and I are going to track him down and be like, hey, Zach, let's go out to lunch. You're buying.
Why not? Oh, yeah. It's on you, man. Like, I really want him to say, oh, man, I left my wallet in the car. I really do. I really do want him to say that. Like, really?
Like, all right, man, my treat, we're going to Wendy's.
Right. That 4 for 4? You want 4 for 4, Zach? I got 2 4 for 4s for you. All right, 2 4. He in training. 1 4 for 4 for Zach. He training.
Yeah. All right. That is it. Thank you to everybody for texting in. We got to as many as we could. Maybe next week we'll do some voicemails. Haven't done those in a while. Big Dave loves those voicemails.
Yes, I do.
Appreciate all of you. If you want to interact with us on that line, it is 331-979-1369. You can also hit us up on Twitter at Bulls_Peck, at Bow Sports, BAWL Sports, and at Locked On Bulls. Have a great weekend. Enjoy All-Star Weekend. Bulls fans, we got Io Friday night. We got Zach Saturday night. We got Zach and DeMar Sunday for the main event. Hooah! I love that. Have a great weekend, Bulls Nation. We love you. Thanks for listening. Until next time, see you, Red. Be good.